The Red Sox win again against the Colorado Rockies at Fenway Park. That's where we will begin today on the program. Alongside from our Town Fair Tire Studios in Waltham is Mazz. Hi, Mazz.
Good, you?
Mark Dundero in our update studios today as well. Hi,
Boys.
Mark.
Hi.
Nice baseball team you got there, man.
Yeah, not bad. Playing better lately. Pretty good. That's what happens when you play 4A teams. You beat the crap out of them, smash them upside the head.
Let me just say, you were playing 4A teams earlier in the year and you weren't beating them.
Well, that's true. Yes, that is a fair point by you, Michael.
So, are you encouraged?
Believe it or not, I am a little bit. I am. Look at this. I said this yesterday, and obviously you and I weren't together, but that whole line that Mike Vrabel keeps giving, or said particularly early on when he got hired, can we take advantage of bad football? I sort of feel like the same thing is true of the Red Sox. They might not be good enough to beat the really good teams in Major League Baseball, but can they be good enough to take advantage of bad baseball? And they're playing some bad teams. So they swept Washington. They beat Colorado last night. I obviously had my doubts a little bit when they got behind and allowed the first run of the game. But they righted the ship, pounded away. And I'll tell you what I am starting to buy into a little bit. And I want to see it over a longer period because you can't ignore the opposition at the moment. The opposition has been so bad that you have to factor it in. But I was just doing this research quickly with before the show with our intern, Thomas. You could argue that the last 10 games are the best that they've swung the bat all year. And I'm not just talking about run production. I'm talking about the combination of contact, power, run production, the whole thing. In other words, they're striking out as little as they have all year long. They have one stretch of 10 games earlier in the year where they struck out 73 times. This in 10 games is 77. That's not a huge difference. And the gain in terms of their power during that period of time is considerable. So, for example, when they went 73 strikeouts in 10 games earlier in the year, they hit 254. Right now they're hitting 320, and they're hitting the ball out of the ballpark too. So I think there's a number of factors. One's the opposition. One is the number of left-handers that are being thrown at them because their lineup against lefties now is really damn good. Between Romy Gonzalez and Refsnyder, whom we mock as being role players, and they are, but they pound lefties. And Rafaela's been swinging a good bat. Story's been swinging a good bat. Their lineup right now is deeper. So my answer is yes. The offense right now is pretty good. They're beating up on bad teams. And the timing is good because they're going to need a cushion heading into the iron that they're about to face.
Okay. I don't believe in strength of schedule quite like you do in baseball. I think it's not like going into Kansas City on the road in December. It's just not. And so I think if you play good baseball, you'll win. And if you don't, you'll lose. And the opponent, for a lot of the regular season, is kind of immaterial. That's how I feel. So I just think this is in a vacuum. I think the Red Sox were losing to bad teams earlier in the year. Now they're beating them because they're better. They're playing better. I think the whole context of this year, Mazz, is going to be the backdrop is going to be the Rafi Devers trade, right?
Sure.
Are they better or worse since the Rafi Devers trade?
I would say overall about the same.
Shall we look at the scoreboard?
Sure.
With Rafi Devers, 37 and 36, averaging, I don't know, Ben, I don't have it in front of me, I think 4.8 runs per game. 37 and 36, 4.8 runs per game. Since the trade, 10 and 9, 5.47, which will round up to 5.5 runs per game. So the record's the same. The offense is better. Net, are they better?
So again, the offense is better against who?
So let's say a yes or no question.
I would say they're the same.
Dundero?
I'm not falling for any of this. I don't buy it. This is not nearly enough to convince me. Nice little stretch here. They have for too long steered me in the wrong direction. I am out. I don't buy it. I'm going to look up
So
one day
listen,
and all of a sudden
unlike you, what you're doing and everyone wants to do, I'm not predicting anything.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you what they're going to be. I hate doing that.
Okay.
As Jimmy knows.
Yep.
I'm not, are you buying in on those rules? I don't know. I can't predict games. Like you people, I'm out of the office pool the second week, the knockout pool. Week 2, I'm out. So are you. No one knows who's going to win. I'm brilliant, actually. Strength is breaking down what has happened. What has happened in the 3 weeks since the trade?
They've stayed the same.
They might be a little better. They're scoring more. They're scoring more. I didn't bother to look at this, but maybe this is a quick research project. How many errors per game were they averaging through the first? That would be 73 games. What are they averaging in the 19 since? Their errors have gone down, from what I understand. Do they lead the league still in errors?
I think they do, but I'll check.
Yeah, let's check that.
Do you think they're any smarter?
No, because I saw some dumbass crap last night.
Yep.
I was watching early. Dude tries to steal third base. He's out. Top of the next inning, was it Story? Who threw it in the crapper?
Story.
And then gave up, and you're down 1-0. I'm like, well, this does look similar, but the results don't. Or I say don't. They're one game over 5, and has their strength of schedule been any easier now than it was before? You played the White Sox, it seems to me, quite a few times there with Raffy Devers and couldn't beat them.
Okay, but I'm not talking solely about strength of schedule. I'm talking about bad pitching staffs that contributing to the fact that you are scoring more. So, you know where the Rockies are ranked in Major League Baseball in ERA?
I'd say low.
Last, 30th. And do you know where the Nationals are ranked?
I'd say low.
28th. So you got 2 or 3 worst pitching staffs in baseball right now that you're beating the crap out of. They scored 21 runs in the first 2 games in Washington, and they got 9 more last night. So they're getting 10 a night against these bums.
I just think we're going to be going back to the Raffy Devers thing the entire year,
Definitely.
as you should. It's that kind of trade. You trade your best offensive player. What do you expect to happen? So when it's going bad, I expect for people to be going right back to Raffy Devers. You should. If they're not scoring and they're not winning, you go right back to them trading your best player. Absolutely. I'll do it. We'll all do it. But if they're hitting well and winning, you should do the same thing. They're just keeping it level. Keeping it fair, Mazz. We'll keep it fair.
It's the only way we know.
I believed that they had a chance to be better after the Raffy Devers trade. And so far, I'm not wrong. Some days I'll show up and you'll say you look like an idiot, Felger. Some days I'll shake my ass at you, but this is just where we're at. 10-9 since the trade. 1 game over 500, 5.5 runs per game. That's the same record or winning percentage, if you will. Scoring nearly a run more per game. Say it's warming up, they're at home, they're facing bad pitching staffs. Sure. But that's a scoreboard. Facts matter, Dundero.
Yep.
So go ahead.
I mean, again, I don't know. You win with dudes, okay? You win with guys that have talent. And I'm just going to say this because we brought up the Raffy Devers trade. I don't have a problem with them trading Raffy Devers. I don't have a problem with them trading Mookie Betts. The problem was when they traded Mookie Betts, their entire philosophy shifted. That's where I had the problem. If you want to get rid of Betts, you don't think he's going to hold up, he's in his twilight, whatever. They traded Roger Clemens. It was bad, okay? But then they went out and got Pedro Martinez. They got Manny Ramirez. They tried to continue to be aggressive and go get players. If that's what they're going to do after the Devers trade, I'm cool, okay? But you can't trade Raffy. And right now they're in a honeymoon. It's a honeymoon. He was a malcontent. It at least feels like they're playing well. They're beating up on some bad teams. It's a honeymoon. Hey, yay. Yeah. So, I mean, I remember the Celtics did this a long time ago. Remember they got back Antoine Walker in like 2005, and they went on a ridiculous run.
We try not to cross sports here, Dundero.
I do that. I don't think I do it. So, sorry. I just think this is – I'm not buying into anything. It's a nice stretch. I mean, I love what Cedar Rafael is at 375 in July, 3 home runs in July. He looks great when he gets extension. But when I got to lean on him, am I leaning? He's going to be the bopper come playoff time?
No,
you're right.
he's batting
You're not wrong, Mike. They're playing better right now.
I can't predict the future.
They're playing better right now. Facts.
I can only tell you
That's
that.
fun.
And I don't believe in them as an organization. I don't.
Right.
As an organization, I'm with Mazz, who said a week or two ago it feels hopeless. I agree. I don't think that they're ever going to be what they were in the first 20 years of their ownership. So that's a bigger picture thing. I'm just worried about the granular thing that I believe in, and I believed in with this Devers trade, that you can be, as paradoxical as it seems, that you could lose your best player, and if your best player was doing the wrong things away from just his pure talent, you know what I mean? If your best player is an a-hole and you trade your best player, you can be better as a team. I believe in that.
Yes.
Okay, I believe it happened with the Patriots, but not to cross sports and Randy Moss. I've just seen it. I saw it with the Red Sox and Nomar Garciaparra. These are all not perfect comparisons, but that general premise that if your best player's an a-hole and you lose that best player, you can be a better team. I've seen it with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. I've seen it. And Brett Favre and the Packers. I've seen it. And I think it can happen with this Red Sox team, and so far I'm not wrong. 617-779-0985.
Boy, that's a good way to sell it. I'm not wrong.
So far.
That's for me, Mazz. That's where I'll start.
That's a victory.
It's a good start for me. I would say it's a victory for me
It's a victory.
because usually by this point I'm wrong.
So, do you want what I think is the X factor in this whole thing?
Of course.
Roman Anthony. The last 10 games, he's got an OPS of 1,000, which is about 350 points higher than what Rafael Devers is in the last 10 games. And it's a 10-game sample, okay? So we all know what that means in the grand scheme of things. But what if he's here to stay? Like, what if this is who he is? What if he is that rare player, because he was the number one prospect in baseball. What if he is that rare player who comes up from the minor leagues, needs a few weeks to figure it out, figures it out, starts raking the ball all over the place, and never looks back? What if he's that guy? Mm-hmm. What if he becomes the number 3 guy in your batting order? And I use that loosely, where I would say your best hitter historically is hit in the 3 spot. What if he is now that, or has become that, and Alex Bregman is about to return to the lineup, and you have a 1-2 thump in the middle of your batting order?
Nice. I'd love to tie that into somehow Devers being gone, clearing the way for that.
Well, he did, basically.
Can I?
Sure.
Why? How?
Because Devers is did Anthony DH last night, or did he play the outfield? So,
he DH'd.
Okay, so
On those nights where he's not,
I mean, So right now the outfield has basically been, for the most part, Duran, Raphael. Duran didn't start last night, but Duran in left, Raphael in center, Abreu in right. Roman Anthony is your designated hitter. So it opened the door for you to get Anthony in the lineup on a regular basis because Devers is now out of the way, and Anthony is swinging the bat right now, I would say, as well as anybody in the game. For all the talk there is about Rafaela, because his stretch has gone longer, and Anthony right now is just pounding the ball just about every time he hits it. And if you look at his history, he does look like one of these guys that once he figures it out, it doesn't go away. So I don't think it's like that part of it. If I were a Red Sox fan, I'd be very excited about. That kid can mash. He can mash. And that freaking ball he hit last night was a missile.